just to set the ground a bit, that I'm working at Argos Wytiu. Argos Wytiu is an investment fund. So we invest the capital provided by investors such as European Investment Bank or European Investment Fund, insurance companies, pension funds, etc. So we also hold a high responsibility in that sense to society, and thus are integrating sustainability more and more these days. I think it's actually quite interesting and a bit more practical if I jump into this KPIs aspect, because indeed KPIs are very important. Becoming more important, has been mentioned also by former speakers on the CSRD, because the CSRD for us as a private equity, as an investment fund, it's very important because we have in our portfolio companies who are going to be applicable to this legislation in the near future. So that means we have to set into action certain supporting tools, guidance also for the companies, because in our portfolio we have different maturity levels of companies. But what is interesting and what is good to know is that we as an investment fund, we also hold a responsibility to the investor, meaning that we have to report on KPIs. And I think it was flashing by before on the screen showcasing the Green Deal. You have the CSRD, you have the EU taxonomy, but you also have the SFDR. SFDR, Sustainable Finance Disclosure Regulation. There are a lot of acronyms in sustainability, actually. So the SFDR asks us also as an investment fund to report on our initiatives and on our actions, on our funds. And I think it's good to understand that we are driven by different actors actually to report, and also to increase the level, the quality, and the speed of reporting. So investors are looking for proof of having invested the money in the right manner, and ensuring a future-proof company, because that's obviously also what sustainability is about. It's nice that you integrate certain aspects, but is your company also going to be sustainable on the long run? Coming back to the CSRD, what we are doing here is as an investment fund. So for information, we have currently 1.4 billion euro under management, 20 companies, industry agnostic. So we are currently invested in Linias, the organization in Belgium. And how we do that here is that we provide tools, guidance, support, as I mentioned earlier, to understand why reporting is important. I think we've all got to understand why reporting is important. There is transparency needed. But also, if you know the numbers, you know where your gaps are, where you miss out on initiatives, where do you need to accelerate, where is more CapEx or OpEx needed? In other words, define an action plan based on your last annual reporting, let's say. Having worked in consultancy before, supporting organizational reporting was always seen, especially at C-level. Yeah, but these numbers, it's nice. We just give it to the shareholders, we give it to investors, employees, or whatnot. But actually, it becomes way more important to different stakeholders to have the right KPIs. I mean, right KPIs, the relevant KPIs gathered in a very qualitative manner, because if 1 year to another, your KPIs are differently gathered, you're shooting yourself in the feet, right? So what we propose, well, what we support here with companies is to go through an assessment to look at their management system, because management system is not only important for financial accounting, for all these let's say standard aspects or layers within a company, within a business. We're also looking at the sustainability management system, because if you do not have a right governance in place, meaning is there someone responsible for sustainability? You do not have that. It's not the idea that you develop a new team for sustainability. It should be someone who is in charge of taking these topics on. It could be even a CEO, it could be someone in HR, etc. Depending on the company, obviously, but there has to be someone who is responsible. Accountability lies obviously within C-suite board of directors. But to understand where you are in terms of organization, am I capable of gathering KPIs? Do I know which actions we have set in place? Did we conduct a gap analysis? Did we conduct also the materiality assessment, the double materiality, which is coming up? And can we fill the gaps? What should we do in the near future and midterm to mitigate risks and to take actions upon our opportunities? And then it's very nice, and then I'm rounding up my story, is to understand that long-term targets are very useful because it is, then it can build into your strategy. So looking into the Paris alignment, Paris Agreement alignment is very important for companies. So looking at science-based targets, for instance, meaning to reduce your emissions on a very strongly developed research, which makes more sense. And I'm very surprised, this is on a personal note, but I'm very surprised still that a lot of companies just put a number of CO2 emission reductions out there based on, sounds good, this is what we can do, but what's the science behind it? And I think this is only on the environment. I think we're also moving, and that's very, very happy to see this on the slides before, is that the S, the social aspect of sustainability, is becoming more and more tangible. We are becoming smarter on measuring the social axis of sustainability, which in the past was always, yeah, we have X% of women in the board. Yeah, but there's way more to it. So take this back. If there's something for my little speech that I would like to say is that sustainability should be really into your management system, baked in, policies in place, strategy in place, KPIs defined. And don't forget the S and the G aspect of sustainability, because those make this whole circle of sustainability actually a complete circle. So it goes beyond the E, also in the rail, obviously.